This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.
This message is brought to you by Apple Card. Shave ice by the beach, a trip to the state fair, and a throwback flick at the local drive-in. They're more than just items to check off the summer bucket list. They're also opportunities to earn 2% daily cash back when you use your Apple Card with Apple Pay. Apply for Apple Card now and use in minutes with Apple Pay. Subject to credit approval. Apple Card is issued by Goldman Sachs Bank USA, Salt Lake City branch. Terms and more at applecard.com.
Late night bites with friends? Already hard to beat. That first too hot bite of fries you couldn't wait for, followed by ice cold Pepsi. Now that hits different. Suddenly, the energy kicks back in, the night goes longer, and the laughs don't stop. Because Pepsi brings out more flavor, more fun, and more of the moment. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi Zero Sugar today.
Pros, find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on a DeWalt 20-volt max 6-amp-hour 2-pack of batteries, now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
The Eagles got some much-needed help back by two big players returning at practice. Welcome to the Eagles Checkdown, the fastest under 10-minute Eagles podcast there is. Cover news, notes, and opinions on your favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. There's two different ways to watch or listen to this. You can listen to this on the audio platforms with the Eagles Pin Pull Podcast Network, or you can watch the video platform on YouTube of this on the STT Sports Network. Either way, make sure you hit the like button, the follow, subscribe button, the share button, whatever you want to do, and make sure you tune in to Trending in the AM on the STT Sports Network, live Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., 9:30 a.m. Setting the trends for what sports talk should be live in Philadelphia. Guys, I'm your man, Phil Stiefel. I got you for the next under 10 minutes as we recap the first practice back after the preseason game on Saturday. And they're back practicing amongst themselves, and the Eagles got offensively a massive boost as Devontae Smith and Mekhi Lemon both back again. Smitty's back, and he brought a friend back with the team in full participation, not listed on the injury report whatsoever. And the Eagles wasted no time throwing them in on 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 drills and putting Mekhi Lemon right there with the starting lineup, throughout the entirety of practice. Jalen Hurts did connect with him and Smitty. There was a key word used a lot in recaps and live tweets from practice: over the middle. Lots of balls thrown over the middle. And it was great to see. And I don't want to forget about Dontavian Wicks, who's clearly cut the number 2 wide receiver on this team at this point, had some big plays as well. Jalen Hurts had an up-and-down day, mainly because the defensive line got pressure on him. There were a lot of almost sacks listed throughout the day. Jordan Davis, Moro Jomo having himself a hell of a training camp. Jalen Hunt all getting pressure on Jalen Hurts at multiple times throughout the day. There's plenty of good run plays listed throughout it as well. A couple guys missed practice today, some concerning, some not. The concerns, because kind of leaning towards not making the team, there was no Markel Bell, no Willie Lampkin, and no Eli Stowers at practice. Those guys are going to make the team. Mac McWilliams, among a couple others, Damian Pierce and things like that, that's hurting their chances at making this team. The Eagles did release one of their free agent signings this offseason, J.T. Gray, who's a former Pro Bowl special teamer and he's not had a very good training camp. He has been waived, and he's been waived. It probably means that there's a good chance Keely Ringo makes this roster because of his special teams, but it does open the door for other guys like Kapina Gushikan and names like that. If they can find a way, Carson Steele, if they can find a way to be contributors on special teams, maybe they make the last spot. Sean Mannion spoke before the practice started. He talked about he still hasn't made a decision on whether he's going to be calling plays from the booth or the sideline. But the main conversation there during his pre-practice press conference relied on the number 2 quarterback position. Tanner McKee, Andy Dalton, right? Tanner McKee had a much better game and played a lot more in the second preseason game. Andy Dalton struggled, but Sean Mannion made sure to put it out there that they still have plenty of time to make a decision on quarterback 2. And it's going to be the whole package, the whole picture when they make that decision. Yes, the on the field in the preseason games is going to matter, but he wanted to highlight that Andy Dalton's been around the league for a very long time, and all that experience is coming into play in their decision-making. But also, when they took the practice field, key thing here to talk about is, first up, Tanner McKee got the second-team reps. So that's a big deal right there, that he has moved up to the number 2 guy in practice at this point. Some other things from practice news and notes. These are all completely random. 12 personnel package featuring Dallas Goddard and Johnny Munt was used a lot. Jake Majors, who had played pretty much the entire game on Saturday, did not get in until very late with the second team in practice, stayed with the third team. He's still an outside chance to make this roster for the Eagles. Morojomo, again, primed to have a huge season and in a contract year where he's going to get a huge payday. Had another big practice for the Eagles. Jalen Hurts linking up with Hollywood Brown for a deep ball over the middle. Some say he would have gotten sacked, Jalen Hurts, from Jordan Davis. It's kind of hard to tell, but it's good to know that Hollywood Brown is still getting utilized. We haven't seen him in preseason games much. He played in the first one, didn't make an impact, didn't play this past week. You know, I'm on the fence whether Hollywood Brown makes the roster. If they keep 6 wide receivers, he will. But there's a chance that he and Elijah Moore are battling for that, last spot. Lots of little wrinkles here and there. They did run some zone reads, some RPOs in practice. So that part of the playbook has not been washed away. And I've been saying that for a while, that while Sean Mannion's bringing a new offensive philosophy, some of the old philosophies and what Nick Sirianni loves to do is still going to be utilized a lot this year, or at some point this year. So keep that in mind. Darius Cooper had another good day in practice. He looks to be solidified as the number 4 guy in the wide receiver room. But that's that. I want to highlight one more time here before we wrap this up, Mr. Chris Cooper, right? He is our new offensive line coach. And I'm going to talk about a lot this week and the next week or so as this roster gets finalized, that we all, got so upset when the legend Jeff Stoutland, retired, so to speak, as the offensive line coach. And we're like, who's this guy, Chris Cooper, right? It leads us to remember there are other coaches and other, assistants around the NFL that have great ideas and can coach in this league. Just because Stoutland's a legend, we would put him in the Hall of Fame. I don't think an offensive line coach can get in the Hall of Fame, but whatever. The work he has been able to do with Willie Lampkin and Drew Kendall, Markel Bell already in, a month of, his career and whatnot. Jake Majors, a guy, I think he was on our practice squad briefly last year. What he's been able to do with these guys. Micah Morris, who, was a late round draft pick for the Eagles. The fact that he's been able to turn these guys into viable assets and depth pieces on this team so quickly with so much time still to go, it's a huge thing. One final note. I did want to say that Mekhi Lemon did talk about the mental reps he got throughout his 3 weeks absence, and that it was the same hamstring that he re-hurt, but he's working really hard to be ready to go. I would have fully expect him to be a full go for the first game against the Washington Commanders on September 13th. That's what I got. Tuesday's practice is the nighttime practice, the open practice. You can still get tickets online if you want to go to it. It starts at about 6 or 7 o'clock Tuesday night. All money gets raised, gets donated the Eagles Autism Charity. So make sure if you're free Tuesday night, you go on out and check it out. We'll be back with another Eagles Checkdown tomorrow night, but everybody have a good one. Go Birds! And bubbles up.
If weight loss has felt like a losing battle, this summer can be different. Skip the guesswork and try Weight Loss by Hims. Access an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill and the Wegovy pen, plus the support to actually stick with it. With Wegovy at Hims, lose up to 20% of your body weight when combined with diet and exercise. It helps you regulate your appetite, eat less, and keep weight off. Plus, Wegovy is the first ever GLP-1 pill for weight loss, so there are no needles needed. Through Hims, everything happens online. You'll connect with a licensed provider who will determine if treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is delivered right to your door. No insurance necessary. Ready to reach your goals? Visit hims.com/FFSN to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's HIMS.com/FFSN. hims.com/FFSN. Weight Loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, visit hims.com.
Something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive offers, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The countdown has begun, and all roads lead to Game Day. So whatever your favorite sport is, DraftKings has you covered. So get ready to celebrate a new season, as new DraftKings customers get $200 in bonus bets when they sign up with code PINPULL and spend $5 within 21 days. That's code PIN, P-I-N, PULL, P-U-L-L. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Pennsylvania only. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 in non-withdrawable bonus bets issued every 7 days via click-to-claim for 21 days. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer. I've never been a nicotine user, but I'm always looking for ways to improve my focus and my energy, especially when I'm working out or I have a lot of work to get done. And I don't always want to rely on caffeine to help me get there. That's why I've been using Ultra pouches. They're 100% nicotine and caffeine free, but they still give me a noticeable boost in focus and energy without that jittery feeling or a later crash. So I'll pop one in 5 minutes before a workout or when I'm sitting down to grind film study and I really need to lock in. And I love that I get that energy boost without the cup of coffee in my hand. My favorite flavor so far is the Cool Mint, but it comes in multiple flavors: watermelon, citrus, blue raz. If you want to try them, new customers can use the code PIN, that's P-I-N, and get 15% off at takeultra.com. That's takeultra.com, code PIN. And when they ask where you heard about Ultra, please tell them the Eagles Pin Pull Network sent you.
Before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you can trade those predictions in a live market. For instance, can the Pittsburgh Steelers win at least 9 games this season? If the Steelers do, they're currently trading at 45% probability. A $100 trade pays out over $200 if the Steelers reach just 9 wins. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. Trade the draft pick, the game, and more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code FFSN to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
This episode is brought to you by Facebook. So you were scrolling on Marketplace, and there it was, the bike you'd been searching for. You sent a message, and it turned out the seller was super chatty, kind of funny, and an avid cyclist. The next thing you know, you're in a cycling crew. Well, a community cycling group. The thing about Facebook, you might find more than what you're looking for. From a browse to a bike ride, this summer find more on Facebook.